The stories are common. More often than not, communities or indigenous peoples who oppose these corporate energy projects are labeled as anti-development. We are not anti-development, but what we want is a development that will be beneficial to us. Second, it will also be beneficial to the country where we find ourselves in. Most of the energy actually do not go to the people. It doesn't even go to the country to help its national industrialization plans. Two, the stories also are common that the communities or the organizations or the people who are opposing these projects are subjected to intense attacks or labeling. And this has led to many forms of human rights violations, and especially for those who find themselves in the far-flung areas of the country, they are subjected to intense militarization, leading to further violation of people's rights. But despite all of this, the communities and the indigenous people still maintain their principle that land is life, and therefore it is something that needs to be protected. It is something that needs to be defended, because this is not only their source of livelihood, but this is also the source of their identity and ways of life. Lots of things are put at stake when dams are created. It's only a question of the destruction of the biodiversity or the environment, or the loss of livelihood. That, as I mentioned, it has a very great impact on the identities of indigenous peoples. But indigenous peoples are not simply taking this down. In fact, they are protesting this as a matter of being able to safeguard the rights and the future of the succeeding generations. And at the same time, they're also calling for alternatives. There is a need to overhaul the entire framework when it comes to energy. It should be building dams or generating energy for development, but not for profit. They also made it very clear that given their current limitations, there's also a need, for technical experts to be able to assist us, to assist the communities, not only to access this information or technical studies or feasibility studies, but also to be able to interpret and let them understand, the technical language in relation to this term, so that they will be able to understand it. Third, they have also proposed other alternatives, such as looking into the designs of the dams that will make it more sustainable, more appropriate to the geographical location, or even the terrain of the communities where they find themselves in. And they were also very clear that all of this is also part of their assertion, not only of land rights, but of their right to self-determination, to be able to be recognized. They should be recognized as peoples that have the right to be included and to participate in decision-making processes in matters that would impact them. They also demand that they be recognized not simply as stakeholders, but as right holders. And they call on governments, corporations, and in financial institutions to stop the construction of dams, or if not, to have a moratorium on the construction of dams until all the issues surrounding these projects are fully responded or answered by the state and government. And I think much conflict has already been generated by these projects, not only among indigenous peoples, but also between the people and the government. And it has led to conflicts, wherein you have refugees, wherein you have indigenous peoples being displaced or being dislocated from their ancestral lands and from their territory. But what is very inspiring, is that we hear also of many stories that have been successful in being able to stop these destructive projects. The mere fact that we are able to delay the construction is a victory by itself. Let us defend our ancestral lands and let the rivers flow freely.